You're 17, and every wall on this block has the same symbol painted on it, a 5-point crown. Tonight, you find out what it actually takes to earn the right to wear one yourself. This isn't some small local crew. It's the almighty Latin King and Queen Nation, one of the largest and most organized street gangs in the country, with thousands of members and a chain of command tighter than most legitimate businesses. And tonight, they're finally letting you get close enough to prove yourself. As a prospect, you're not a king yet. You're barely even trusted. You run errands, watch corners, and keep your mouth shut, all while every single king in the chapter quietly decides if you're worth crowning at all. Half the job is watching, standing on a corner for hours in the cold, ready to warn the block the second a patrol car turns the corner. It's the least exciting job in the entire organization, and also the one every single king had to do first. Eventually, somebody trusts you with something heavier than a message, a package you're told not to open and definitely not to lose. Every prospect who ever got crowned earned it the exact same way, by proving they could be trusted with something that actually mattered. The men above you are always watching, even when it doesn't feel like it, and in the Latin Kings, that watching is formal, not casual. A Crown Council of senior members reviews every prospect before deciding whether they're ready, and getting rejected here can end things permanently. Then, one night, it happens. The prospect stage ends, and you're formally crowned. From tonight on, you're not an outsider hoping to belong. You're a king, and the 5 points of that crown, love, honor, obedience, sacrifice, righteousness, are now something you're expected to live by. As a full king, you're finally a real soldier in the nation, the rank-and-file backbone that every chapter is actually built on. You take on real work now, and every job you do well gets remembered by the officers above you. A lot of the work is collecting money from people who owe it, whether they can afford it or not. You learn fast that being calm and direct gets you further than being loud, most of the time. Some nights it's moving product nobody's supposed to ask about, off a truck, into a safe house, gone by morning. You don't need to know where it came from or where it's going. You just need to make sure it moves clean. You start attending regular chapter meetings now, real meetings, with real structure, where local officers hand down assignments and settle disputes. It's more organized than most people ever imagine a street gang could be. You've proven you can be trusted with money, with secrets, and with silence. But there's a ceiling to what a regular soldier can become on loyalty alone. The next step up requires a very different kind of reputation. Becoming an enforcer means one thing above everything else. You're now the one who makes sure the nation's rules actually get followed. Discipline inside the chapter runs through you, and that job earns you respect fast, along with a target on your back. If a soldier breaks the rules, steals from the nation, disrespects an officer, talks when they shouldn't, it's your job to handle it. It's the part of the rank nobody talks about at the ceremony, but everybody understands is part of the deal. You're also the first line of defense when a rival set starts testing the block's edges. Holding the nation's territory isn't just about respect. Every inch of ground lost is money lost, and everyone above you notices exactly how much. You learn fast that nothing said inside the nation is ever supposed to leave it. Federal RICO cases have taken down entire chapters just from one member talking. Silence isn't just a rule here, it's survival. Sometimes the job gets ugly fast, and hesitation isn't an option, not because anyone wants the violence, but because backing down once invites every rival on the block to test you again. You keep the chapter disciplined, keep the territory secure, and never once let word slip outside the nation. And slowly, that reputation starts reaching the officers who actually run the finances. That's where the next opportunity opens up. As treasurer, you're no longer just moving money, you're managing it. Every dollar the chapter brings in, from every soldier and every enforcer, eventually passes across your desk, and it's on you to make sure none of it goes missing. You track dues, fines, and shared earnings from every hustle running through the chapter. And unlike most ranks, your mistakes here aren't measured in disrespect. They're measured in exact dollar amounts, and they're very hard to hide. You start working closely with the secretary, cross-checking records before every chapter meeting, because a treasurer who can't account for the money doesn't stay treasurer for long, no matter how loyal they've been. Every few weeks, you present the numbers to the whole chapter: what came in, what went out, what's owed to the nation as a whole. It's the least dramatic job in the organization, and also one of the most trusted. Managing the money well enough, long enough, gets you noticed by the chapter's senior officers. And in an organization built as much on structure as on fear, being the person everyone trusts with the numbers is its own kind of power. As secretary, you become the nation's record keeper. Meeting minutes, attendance, written reports on everything from disputes to disciplinary actions. It doesn't sound like power, but paperwork is exactly how officers keep track of who's actually reliable. You document everything: who showed up, who didn't, what was decided, what punishment was handed down, and why. When disputes get serious, your records are often what the Crown Council actually reviews. You and the treasurer end up working closely together because the nation runs on paperwork almost as much as it runs on loyalty. Getting the record wrong on a serious matter can cause real problems for people who don't deserve them. Because you sit in on nearly every serious meeting, you end up knowing more about the chapter's inner workings than almost anyone below officer rank. That kind of insight doesn't go unnoticed for long. Reliable records, careful judgment, and a reputation for never twisting the truth. That's what finally earns you a real shot at joining the officer ranks. The next title isn't just a job anymore, it's authority. You're an officer now, a cacique, chief of your chapter's daily operations, answering directly to the Inca. Every soldier, enforcer, treasurer, and secretary in the chapter now falls under your authority. Chapter discipline, disputes between members, day-to-day decisions, they all pass through you before anything reaches the Inca. It's more responsibility than any rank below, and a lot less room for mistakes. Keeping the peace inside your own chapter turns out to be just as hard as handling threats from outside it. A cacique who can't manage his own people doesn't hold the title for long. You're also responsible for the chapter's territory as a whole now, not just defending it, but deciding where the nation expands next and which fights are actually worth having. You keep your chapter running clean, keep the numbers accurate, and keep the streets under control. And the Inca starts noticing exactly how much weight you can actually carry. You're the Inca now, the highest-ranking officer of the entire chapter, responsible for its overall welfare, and the one who decides punishment when the rules get broken. Every cacique, every enforcer, every soldier in this chapter now answers to you. Every serious decision in the chapter lands on your desk. Expansion, discipline, disputes with other chapters. It's more authority than almost anyone in the nation ever holds, and a lot more scrutiny from law enforcement, too. Federal RICO prosecutions have taken down Incas before. The title makes you visible in a way lower ranks never have to worry about. Every meeting, every call, every decision could end up as evidence someday. You handle conflicts with other chapters and other gangs now too, because a war started under your watch doesn't just cost your chapter, it can cost the whole nation's reputation with it. Above even the Inca sits a regional officer overseeing multiple chapters across an entire area, and above that, only 2 men nationwide have ever held the title of Corona at once. You're closer to that seat than almost anyone in this chapter's history. Then, almost overnight, the seat opens. A RICO indictment, a betrayal, a power struggle that ends badly for the wrong person. However it happens, someone has to be recognized as Corona, and every officer in the nation is watching to see who it will be. Nobody hands you this title for free. You earn it because you've built enough loyalty, enough respect, and enough fear across enough chapters that no one is willing to challenge you for it out loud. You're Corona now, the head of the entire nation, nationwide. Every Inca, every cacique, every soldier ultimately answers up the chain to you, whether they've ever even seen your face or not. Every major decision the nation makes now passes through you first. Which chapters expand, which conflicts get resolved, which rules get enforced without exception. In real life, this exact seat has only ever been held by a small handful of men in the organization's entire history. Money finally flows the way it always should have. Upward, from every chapter, every hustle, every corner the nation controls. But so does the responsibility for protecting all of it, no matter what it costs. You stop appearing in public much at all now. Layers of officers exist between you and the actual crimes, exactly the way it's supposed to work. It's the only way anyone has ever survived at the very top for more than a few years. Federal prosecutors have spent decades trying to dismantle the nation from the top down, and more than one real Corona has ended up sentenced to decades in federal prison under exactly the same charges. Whether you avoid that fate is a different story entirely, but the seat that took you your whole life to reach is also the most dangerous place in the entire nation to sit. Every ambitious officer below you would take that chair in a heartbeat if they thought they could get away with it. From a scared kid staring at a 5-point crown painted on a wall to the one man the entire nation answers to. That's the whole climb, 8 ranks, decades of loyalty spent earning every single step of it. The Latin Kings started as one small group in Chicago in 1954 and grew into one of the most organized street gangs in America, with thousands of members across a dozen states. And this same climb has played out in chapter after chapter ever since. Love, honor, obedience, sacrifice, righteousness. 5 points on a crown that took you a lifetime to actually earn the right to wear. If you made it all the way to Corona in this story, let us know in the comments which rank felt like the hardest climb. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.